Hello my beautiful people. So I just want to do some kind of welcome to my humble abode. I just want to do some notes on the coming Venus retrograde, and it's actually going to start tomorrow on the 5th of October. So depending on where you are, because you'll be getting these early, you know, I like to get them out for you in advance. So let's talk about this. One of the things that I kind of really feel is worth mentioning, I haven't done Venus retrograde specials for everybody, and the reason I didn't do them is because we're saturated with them. Everybody's talking about it. If you haven't seen it, go to my website, www.reydiantreality.com. That's R-E-Y, not R-A-D. And on there, I've put, there's a blog post that's called, you know, that's all about the Venus retrograde. Have a read of it. I think it will give you some insight, some understanding, some background, some context as to what might be happening, how it might shape up, and all that good stuff. Now, that's why I haven't done the Venus retrograde specials, because like I said, not only are we saturated with them, it's one of the things that everybody's talking about. It's on everybody's lips. But there's a few things with astrology that I really want to get across to people, that I really want to hit home to people. You know, some of the really good astrologers out there really hit this home to me, you know, and I'm still learning. I still have a very long way to go on my journey of understanding astrology, you know, and it's like tarot. The journey of understanding and learning is never truly done. You just get to a place where you're competent and proficient. Now, the Venus retrograde will be happening, like I said, on the 5th of October, which here is in the UK where I am is tomorrow. For some of you, it will be, you know, the day after, just because of the time zone thing and whatnot. So, you know, whatever day it happens for you, I'm just trying to get this out in advance. What is important and what you need to remember, all things in terms of astrology, are qualities of moments in time. So when Venus officially goes retrograde on the 5th of October, that specific day, so tomorrow, I personally will be paying attention to what happens on that day. Remember, just like your own star chart, an event chart, a synergy chart, whatever it is, you look at that chart and you are looking at a picture of a moment in time of where the planets are at any given moment in time. And what you're looking at is the quality of life that that event, person, thing, you know, launch, you know, I did a chart for my website launch, which is why I launched on the day that I did and at the time. And if you see it, it's not, a lot of people will be like, oh, I've checked out your chart and it's not very good, and there are some challenging aspects to it, but I specifically chose the challenges that I wanted, and I specifically chose those because I was aware that I was looking at a moment in time, and having the understanding that I'm looking at a moment in time, I can anticipate what is going to unfold over the lifetime of the thing that I created, of the, you know, the website that I launched at the specific time. So when Venus goes retrograde tomorrow, pay attention to what happens tomorrow. Pay attention to the relationships that you've got and what happens in them, the dynamics of them. You know, Venus is going retrograde in the sign of Scorpio. This is all about the power dynamic. It's about what you truly, Scorpio, what you truly desire. What is at the bottom? What are your deepest motivations in the core of who you are? Venus, what do I value? So she's actually amplifying that retrograde to relook at something, reassess, re-examine, redo if need be, in the sign of your deepest and, you know, most held and sometimes even darkest and taboo desires. Venus is going to ask you, what do you truly value here? What do you truly value at that level? And that's what's going to help you understand what your motivations are, where they come from, what is truly driving the decisions that you make based on what you actually value, as opposed to what you think you value on the surface. Remember, we're out of Libra, we're in Scorpio now in terms of Venus. She'll retrograde back into Libra, and I feel, because it is You know, there's definitely going to be some obsessive behavior going on for all of us. I can't even tell you, you know, I'm like looking at it like, ooh, because I know myself. I know what my my moments are and my triggers. Like, one of the things I do is bite my nails. That's one of my obsessive behaviors. You know, and sometimes it's yeah. Anyway, enough of that. But you see my point. If you know what your triggers are and whatnot, you'll be able to anticipate that more. So tomorrow, pay attention to your relationships, what happens in your relationships. Pay attention to the things and the people that you're drawn to. Pay attention to what it is that you feel urged to acquire. Remember, Venus rules money, it rules acquisitions. It's the, excuse me, the lesser benefic, you know, and it's all to do with what we value, what our monetary values are, what our financial state is, you know, mentally, emotionally, actually, physically, materially. It rules all of that stuff. So really be conscious, really pay attention to what's happening. And the reason I've put this prelude in to all these weekly videos is because this it's happening now. And if you can pay attention to especially what happens on the day of when the retrograde starts, it's going to give you an idea of the quality of what that entire retrograde season is going to be about for you, is going to deliver to you. And remember, we always have a choice. We co-create our destinies. Things aren't done to us. They are done with us. And, you know, and in terms of that stuff as well, sometimes the universe takes you to a certain point because you need to make a decision. And if you don't make a decision, unfortunately, like any rule of procrastination, if you don't jump, you'll be pushed. That's how it works. You know, so think about it, pay attention to what's happening, be observant, you know, ultimately be observant with yourself on a really deep internal level. You know, listen to what comes up for you on the inside and pay attention and observe all of the stuff that happens externally, because in that is going to give you sort of, you know, the way that this is going to shape up for you. I'll talk about this more as well as we go forward, because, and this is the other thing that I really want to hit home to people as well. No transit lasts a day. You know, I mean, some of the aspects last a day, and, you know, in that respect, but their effects tend to be felt longer than they actually last in some respects. The eclipses, for as an example, they happen on a specific day, but they take 3 to 6 months to unpack and to assimilate into our lives. Like, some of the stuff that's happening for us now is off the back of the eclipses that we've had. You know, so be aware, be alert, understand what is taking place, you know, and more importantly as well, especially given the fact that it's a Venus retrograde, be gentle with yourself, be gentle with others. You know, this isn't going to be as hardcore as some. It will definitely be driving those obsessions for sure. I don't think it will be as hardcore as what we've had to deal with over the summer and, you know, the course of this year. So with all that said, waffling over, I really hope you enjoy your week ahead videos, and you'll be able to find all the good stuff that I talk about on there. Take care, and I'll see you very soon. Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your week ahead Tarotscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share and hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, thank you so much for all of your continued support. It truly means the world. And for those of you that would like to book a personal tarot reading with me, you can do so on the website address below. It is www.radiantreality.com, spelled R-E-Y, not R-A-D. And for those of you that would like to, if you feel these videos help you in any way, shape or form, please feel free to donate to the channel on the link below as well. So with all of that said, I would like to bless both of these decks with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So the destiny card for the week ahead. What is your destiny card for the week ahead? The destiny card is the overarching or overriding theme that is likely to shape up for you. And this week you get bam, the Fool card. So the Fool card always precedes big change. It's interesting because I told you about this last week, and I kind of felt that last week was the closing of a cycle for you, like it was the culmination of something. The Fool card basically says that the reset button has been set, and this week new things, new places, new people and new ideas, fresh perspectives on everything now that certain events have taken place are going to be starting to happen for you. This is a week where effectively you kind of get you know, you can make calculated risks, you can take calculated risks, be open to things. If somebody suggests something to you and says, oh, you know what, let's go on a road trip or anything like that, go. If somebody comes to you, because don't forget we've got this Venus retrograde taking place as well, you know, and if somebody comes to you and suggests something, as long as it's not like a get rich quick scheme or something that you have to put a lot of money up front for or whatever, if it's like a small calculated risk that's going to cost you time or whatever, then absolutely go for it. But yeah, the Fool card basically says that something, someone or some new experience is coming into your life this week. That's sorry, there's some type of works going on outside. Anyway, the direction, the context, what this is likely to shape up as or with, how this comes about, or what the best way to achieve the Destiny card is the Seven of Cups. So yeah, interesting. If anybody new comes into your life this week, if going back to this whole thing about risk, the Seven of Cups is not really a great card. It's got a very Neptunian energy about it, and that's not to say that Neptune's not a great planet. You know, it's got wonderful uses. So this week, for those of you that are creative or creators of some sort, you know, this can be a great week for creating things, for making things, anything to do with fantasy, anything to do with drawing, with art, with painting. All of that sort of stuff is absolutely blessed. For those of you that write, you could be finding that you come up with an idea for a book or a blog or something that is really out there, you know, because you've got the Fool card there, which has got that Uranian energy, and then you've got the Seven of Cups here, which is about, it's about illusion, it's about self-illusory tendencies as well. And this is why I say to you, this is not the week. If somebody comes promising a get rich quick scheme, or you know, like, oh, this, we can do this and it's going to be absolutely amazing, I would err on the side of caution. Anything that is a calculated risk that will you know, if you lose time, fair enough, you lose time, you know, that's, it's not too big a loss. If you lose money, resources and stuff like that, that can be quite a loss. And I kind of feel, you know, as well, because sometimes tarot gets really literal, don't fool yourself, or don't allow yourself to be fooled off the back of somebody else's fantasy. If you know, if somebody comes to you and says, oh, you know, I'm going to do this and da, 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 and you think, oof, pie in the sky, tell them so. It will be important, because it might be that you're anchoring them. You know, it might be that you see somebody else go off charging and you're like, oh, that's going to end in tears. And if that's what you feel, it's really important that you speak up and tell them, because you could be saving them a lot of heartache in the long run. For yourself, any calculated risk that doesn't cost you anything that you can't afford to lose is fine. Great week for creating anything, whether it's books, whether it's content, whether it's writing, painting, drawing, music, art, all of that stuff. Absolutely wonderful. The other thing that I want to say to you is, do not take on any more work this week. If you're already working on several things and then somebody comes along and says, oh, you know, there's this, don't let that fear of missing out, you know, FOMO, I think they call it, or anything like that, don't let that make you think, oh, you know, I need to get on that as well. Focus on what is at hand, because the thing is with the Seven of Cups, I always say to people, don't spread yourself too thin. You know, focus on what you have going for you now and put your energy into that. If you complete one of those things, then you know, by all means take on this extra thing, but don't add to an already full plate. Enjoy what is on your plate first and then add something else, because this is not the week for it. I wish you an abundance of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance itself. Have an amazing week, and I'll see you very soon for more videos. Take care.